Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of Métis Coffee Talk. Here live for this Thursday, March 23rd. I'm coming to you from our Vancouver office on Kingsway and Boundary. So good evening to everyone, and great to see all of you, or I guess I can't see you. Hopefully you hear me live on the air, but I can see a couple of my friends here on the show tonight. Let's welcome to the show tonight for this month. Mr. Joe Desjardins, our Director of Research. Joe, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Keith. Nice to be here.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Joe. And we look forward to getting some updates from you. How have you been? I know you were just at the town hall this last weekend. You recovered yet from that big trip?
It was wonderful to be in Terrace. I know exactly where Renee's sitting. He's in his office. It was nice to go up and visit the team up in Terrace, see the office. And then we had the town hall on the Sunday. So it was great to be with the people in the community.
Perfect. Thanks, Joe. Well, we'll come back to you for some updates and some thoughts after. But Mr. Renee Therrien, our Vice President, all the way from Skeena River Métis Community Association headquarters. How are you doing tonight, Renee?
Good, thanks. Glad to be here. And I do have an accompaniment.
Yep.
Sean.
I'm back again.
He's back again.
Yeah, well, didn't I call him Keith on the weekend? I don't know why I said that, but anyways, well, nice to see you, Sean and Renee. Really glad to have you on the show. Have you recovered from the weekend, the town hall?
Yes, I did. But, I had a chance to talk to quite a few people that were there, and they really enjoyed it. The message, the information was well presented. The food was good. And I think the musician did a great job. And yes, it was a fun day for everybody.
Well, they often say the way to a Métis vote is through their stomach. I'm just kidding. Of course, no, but it was great food, honestly. Emmy,
Emmy, yeah.
Yeah, what a great catering company. That was some of the best food we've had in this town hall series for sure. That was our fourth, as we know, in Terrace weekend. But before we get too far into that, Renee, why don't you and Sean start us off with a great Métis fiddle tune or something you want to share with us this evening?
Okay, I did learn one there a couple of days ago, and it's called Kitty Car Reel. I'll try it anyway.
Well, great. What was that? Kitty Car Reel?
Kitty Car Reel, yeah.
No, I've never heard that song before.
It's a new tune that I picked up, just like the kitty car. I don't know. I never heard that before. I thought I might as well learn it.
Well, that's great. Well, anyways, thanks so much, Renee, and I really appreciate you, sharing the great song with us. But I am going to come back to you, Renee, and both you and Joe. on the weekend, as we were just talking about, one of the more recent developments, some of our folks, our friends will probably have seen us, on our Facebook page, but the BC Métis Federation, this is some pictures from the event on the weekend where we gave the town hall. This was our fourth meeting in Terrace. I was at, I believe the Legion was where we were at, Renee, and
Yes, it was. Yeah, the Legion, yes.
yeah, and we had a really nice turnout and there was some great food and entertainment. And I don't know, it just felt like a really positive meeting. I just have to say that I'm glad to hear the feedback you got was so strong, because certainly my perspective was definitely, it was a nice, very nice weekend. But what was the highlight for you, Renee, on the weekend? Was it the number of people that were out? Was it just the culture sharing? What was your sort of thoughts around the weekend itself?
Well, for the amount of people that came and supported us, and of course, the presentation was excellent. There was a lot of good information, and even helping playing with the band, with the people that, like Joe played the guitar, and there was quite a few of them. I really enjoyed doing that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I hit something by accident. But go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, it was excellent. A lot of people came. I talked to quite a few of them, and they were sure liked what we BCMF represented. And everybody did a great job there, all the presenters. So it was good.
Yeah, I think some of the highlight for me was just watching some of the music. I was just going to cue it up here. You had a much bigger band there, you and of course your counterpart Sean. But I noticed Joe Desjardins was holding a guitar while he was there. So we have to show a little clip of that. I'm sure not everyone has seen it on our Facebook page, but I was pretty impressed with you guys. It was sounded like a great band. Well, the point is, we had some pretty, it was a lot of fun, I know, for a lot of people. That was a bit of the Red River Jig, as many of us Métis people will definitely recognize that song. But it was just a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I just thought between that fiddle music it was a little more in depth than what we get a chance to do on this show, right? So, one of the other another clip I thought was great. That we had that evening. I'll just play this one if I can, just for a brief moment. With us. And you guys got better as the day went on.
Encore.
So guys, that was an awesome song, as we know. What song is that for our folks that aren't as up to date on their Métis tunes, Renee?
That was Cajun Fiddle.
Yeah, that's definitely that's one of my favorites of yours. Also, I just like when you play Orange Blossom Special. That's always a really pick me up sort of tune. But yeah, I just want to say it was just great. Thank you for you and Sean and Joe jumping in on guitar, and we had bass and other guitar players. It was yes, we had lots of information, as you say, shared, but at the same time, it was just a really great culture and family feeling, I thought, throughout the day. I don't know. That's how I felt anyways, leaving there on Sunday.
Well, it's pretty hard to beat when you got good music, good food, and good friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Joe, I know that Renee hasn't seen this, but I'm going to share a little bit. You know, you did share something with us that he hasn't seen, but we did, you know, you conducted some interviews, as we know, Joe, and I'm going to bring a few up, but do you want to just give the audience a little more context of sort of I guess what you heard from some folks on the weekend?
I don't have it in front of me, Keith, but if you
I'll bring it up. Don't worry. I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
I'll bring it up for
So as we went through the town hall meetings, we had the opportunity to gather feedback. And it's important, certainly important to hear from the members, you know, who attend the meetings. And there were a number of members and we had some of our operational team and others here at the event. And then sort of gathering some feedback, just comments about the event. And we could see some of the names here and some of the comments. You'd have to open it up a bit more, but there were probably 10 or 12 people throughout the 3 or 4 events that gathered. And you know what I'm just going to say is that I was really encouraged with the events. The feedback it was positive, you know, and it went beyond research. It went just for the whole event as a whole. And it's just encouraging to hear that there's some affirmation of the work we're doing, Keith.
Yeah, I definitely, I found in going through some of the comment rates here, Wendy, you know, I think researching my Métis history is very important so that I can learn from where I come from. I didn't grow up in it, so I want to learn more about being Métis and bringing my roots back. And I mean, we know those are themes we hear from a lot of our people, right? And that's from Wendy, who was there, you know, Ray, and I didn't know Ray very well. It's the first time. But what you know, what I did want to, I'm sure people saw that are watching online right now, but like, this is someone who came over from the other Métis organization, and not that we were trying to create any of those challenges, but, you know, his commentary was very strong, right? He said, all good, nothing negative to say, that this is the first for me when it comes to Métis organizations. I was treated equal, and that was such a wonderful thing to be part of my Métis brothers and sisters. And from the interviewer, Ray had said he'd been hurt by being part of the Métis Nation BC, the other organization, and had nothing good to say about them. He was very surprised by our meeting. He felt very welcome and part of the group. And, you know, Renee, I want to thank you, because it was that, like you said, good food, culture, everyone's treated fairly and respectfully. You know, we may have difference of opinions on how to get somewhere, but, you know, these are authentic comments from people that were there, just you know, that, and I, you know, and then same with Denise Atkinson, like it was clear, non-aggressive and unbiased. Like we're not trying to convince anyone of anything that we're doing. We're just sharing information on a number of fronts of what's going on. So, you know, I think it builds along the lines of what you were saying, right? Both of you, Renee and Joe. So, you know, I just thought it'd be interesting to share some of those interviews that I know Danielle helped with, our team member under the research group with Joe. So, you know, I don't know what, any sort of final comments, Renee, from you about the meeting itself, or maybe our friend Sean wants to jump in, what his perspective was, you know, just sort of sitting there he's always such a cultural performer, but you know, maybe even Sean wants to share what his thoughts were or highlights for him of the meeting were.
Well, certainly, I kind of an echo of what Rennie said. I was really impressed with the information that was presented. You know, I'm fairly new. I'm an associate member of the local organization, and I'm going to apply to be an associate member through head office. So I learned about that, and all the information that was presented was it was new to me, but it was all very clear and understandable and much appreciated the way it was done. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm glad because we just, the hard part is because we do so many things now, right? There was a time when the BC Métis Federation, we were just kind of advocating for a second voice of Métis representation in the BC, but we're so far past that now. We've got, you know, significant projects in coastal conservation. We've got significant work done now with Michif language and culture. We've got significant new investments for community infrastructure and cultural programming. You know, things, Joe spent significant time talking about research and the Pacific Northwest and the work we're doing in that front, you know, and so much new industry engagement and employment opportunities. So it was that's only a tip of many things we talked about, but I really felt people genuinely wanted to hear what was going on. And I think it was a great opportunity for us to do that. So, guys, any closing comments, Joe or Renee, about the town hall series, or things you want to sort of leave our audience with tonight?
Well, for the people that I talked to and the new people, they even said that they would attend another one if there was ever another one. They were happy to be invited. So I think, it was a win-win situation for us as far as putting a good town hall meeting together. And I can't wait till we do another one or attend another one.
Perfect. How about yourself, Joe? Any closing comments about the town hall meeting?
I think it, going into the communities, it just really supports our community-based research methodology, that we go to where the people are, and they're central, their comments, their input, their participation is central to the success of the kind of work that's being done. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out and to supporting and learning, and most importantly, I think, giving ongoing feedback, Keith.
Perfect. Okay, well, why don't we take a quick break there? Renee, Sean, are you guys ready to liven things up with maybe another fiddle tune?
You mentioned Cajun Fiddle, right?
Oh, there we go. Absolutely great job, Renee. Here I was talking. I was so excited. I was talking and didn't realize my mute was on. I think I'd figured that out after like 10 years here. But anyways, yeah, what a great song. I love Cajun Fiddle, and yeah, appreciate you playing that again. That's great. You and Sean continue to make such a great team, getting us excited as we're going on the show here. But what is actually, on that note, just before we go on with Joe on our next item on for tonight, I want to talk about, but what is your favorite Métis tune, Renee?
Well, the most request tune is the Cajun Fiddle.
Ah, well, okay. So I guess I didn't think it was just me then.
No, Cajun Fiddle is the most request tune that I've been playing.
Wow. And it must be that acoustics you've got going on in that Skeena River office and terrace. It just really lends itself to some good music.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, all right, guys. Well, thank you. I'll give you a break for a few minutes. We're going to come back to you though for our next song in about 10 minutes. But I want to turn our attention now to Joe. Joe, I know you, as our director of research, you're leading a number of initiatives, of course, for the Federation. And we know that some of that is significant research. But today, we will be releasing this tomorrow, a new report you've commissioned called Moving Forward. And, why don't you give us a bit of background to this report and sort of, we know you're doing ongoing work with your team on community research and that, but what specifically is this report about, and why did we do this?
Sure. Thanks, Keith. When we were planning for this report, I was talking about the idea of moving forward and looking back, some of the first titles that we were thinking about, and then we just settled on moving forward. But this report builds on prior work that we've been doing at the BC Métis Federation. So, this report did not come out of a vacuum, in a vacuum. Projects completed to date have shaped the way that this report unfolds. So, we've done work with the province. We've started in 2018. We did like a just a little introductory knowledge partnership project, we called it, but it was just the first foray into understanding in terms of dialogue with the province of British Columbia. We did anti-racism data collection more recently with the province, as some of you might be aware, but specifically with the federal government, we partnered with them in 2019, well, a bit earlier, but in 2019, we did a baseline study on Métis impacts along the Trans Mountain Expansion Project, and we released this in June of 2020. And there were, Keith, there were some key conclusions released at that point about Métis in the Pacific Northwest, I should add. But it was at that point we really started to focus on the idea that there were Métis people, self-determining Métis, half-breed kinship networks and communities that existed in BC prior to any declaration of sovereignty. And these were really significant points that we started to unpack and to these findings, and we started to talk about them. The idea around these historic mixed ancestry peoples were increasingly subject to discrimination and racism, and it really played a role in the disintegration of these communities. And then for 100 years, we talked about how the Crown has ignored or denied the existence of these historically constituted Métis communities. Even though they've survived, Keith, even though they've been here, as we know, they've been hidden in plain sight in British Columbia, a larger Pacific Northwest context, and they've encountered widespread prejudice and discrimination and cultural racialization, all these words to mean that they were really pushed into the margins of Canadian society. And what the major findings of this 2020 study is that we talked about the fact that given this long-standing negligence, the Crown has a fiduciary obligation to support the ongoing work of the BC Métis Federation, and that includes the recognition, repatriation, the capacity building of these self-determining communities. And we started to declare that, look, there's many ways of being Métis. It's not just from the Red River. We believe that the origin stories of Métis don't just emanate from a time and space around the Red River Valley, but the idea that Métis live and exist in British Columbia in the Pacific Northwest started to gel. So in 2021, we began capacity work. Basically what that means is we wanted to understand this history better. So we noticed that discrimination continued today in and through the work that we do at the BC Métis Federation. So we realized we needed, Keith, a community-based approach in order to gather this knowledge. So we started to reach out and build relationships in community, because we believe that these kinds of projects happen at the speed of relationship building. And that became our methodology, rather than a grab and go style of extractive research foisted upon Métis by so many other perhaps groups, even Métis groups. We've taken a different tack, and we've said that, look, we want to come along beside communities and establish knowledge partnerships. So last year we started developing a curriculum, and then we developed 3 modules. And this fiscal year, we're in our first full year of a multi-year study, and that's called the Métis Terrestrial Investigations Project. And that's where we're training local researchers how to do research. And all of that, Keith, had to be stated because it set the stage for where we are today. I mean, they go into the field, they do formal research, they go back, they talk, they debrief. It's a learning journey. And frankly, Keith, it's cutting edge when it comes to repatriation for Métis identity in the Pacific Northwest. It supports principles of knowledge sovereignty. These people in the communities, they own the knowledge, they ought to benefit from it and use it for their benefit. So early this fiscal, we began talking to the province. We shared all these reports with them. And this led to this project where moving forward is, and this ultimate report, we wanted to leverage our past and our current research and all the capacity work that we've all been doing together, so that this project provided the funding to complete a fourth module. And then we wanted to build on leaders who can do the research and mentor others in this community-based research down the road. So the province graciously provided the funding for us to build synergy across to other research projects. So for instance, the report talks about doing a research study. You can see some of the headings there. We're doing, if you back it up on the title page right there, correct. What we did is we started to look at a literature review. We started to look at, okay, what are best practices? So we did a deep dive into the research, and we realized that there were best practices, deficiencies, and then we began talking about what that meant in terms of trying to figure out what that means to provide feasibility assessments. So we started to look at different areas like housing, economic development, and we did an analysis, and we tried to figure out how this module, how this training seminar can apply into these different fields. And that I guess you could say constitutes some of the background for the kind of work that we're attempting to do now, Keith, to try and find ways to help our communities build capacity so that they can address issues like housing, and they can speak into them right from the very beginning of a proposal, so that as part of a knowledge partnership, they can participate in their own self-determination. So that's about all in terms of the background for this.
Right. So what I noticed in the report, like just to help our audience and our folks watching online tonight. So you've got different areas you've looked into. So for example, you've got health. So when you say health, what is just give us an example of what you would have seen. This is from some of our existing work we're doing. What was the relevance of this section to this report, I guess, or any of these sections?
Let's just pull out some of this information. When there's always a context to health. So if we look at health, you're talking about health. That was on page.
Yeah, it's on page 12. So I just noticed here, like, just to give you a hand while you're pulling it up. So in the matters of health, Métis local voice and perspectives have been conspicuously absent in service plans and across government-led initiatives. And we know that that's still a massive challenge for many of our members and our partner communities. We talked about it, for example, at the town hall on the weekend, right? So what I like about the report is it sort of speaks to the importance of us. We have to address those systemic problems, you know. We, as we've talked about on last month's show, when we had one of our initial town hall meetings in West Kelowna, you know, we were informed that our federation members were not being recognized when people went in for patient care at a local hospital in Kelowna, and these things are happening as live issues on a regular basis. So this section continues to talk about the importance of community-based research, you know, and is a collaborative approach to which this kind of research is critical to ensuring benefits for both researchers and the researched. So it's basically making sure we've got the right data and the right understandings of how these issues are impacting the lives of BC Métis Federation members and our partner community members across the province. So to me, the report goes to great lengths to helping understand the role of research in telling that narrative. It's really that simple for me, right? And it goes into the whole module as you've outlined in your prior conversation, Joe. So this is just yet one of the many examples in the report. I guess where I'm going with this is, Joe, you know, we see there's education, child and family services, in addition to other sort of Pacific Northwest historical context, housing and homelessness. In the end, Joe, you got some recommendations. So what does that really mean in layman's terms for our members, right? Like, where do we go from here to help support the relevance to our members and our partner communities coming out of these kind of reports? Like, what's the simplest way you can help people without reciting the exact, you know, sort of solutions in the report? But what do you want members to take away from the conclusion of this work that you've done?
I think that, like, what I started off is by talking about the fact that some of the historical findings, but I think it's important for people to know that current impacts have roots in history. So if we look at this document, we realize it's built on prior work. We realize that, oh, there's a history in terms of Crown Métis relations in Canada and in British Columbia. So if we know that, then we start to look at whether it's health or housing, and we put a long-term history. Thankfully, we know from our data that Métis people have a long history in British Columbia, and we start to understand, okay, what are the implications of government decisions when it comes to health? For instance, it might be the bureaucracy, the policy that is created in and for Métis people in the province. So it starts to get us to look at the policy, look at the bureaucracy, and we start to ask ourselves, look, we know that Métis were forced out of the narrative of the province, and these discriminations continue to happen in and through the policy. So it makes us aware that, look, on the first point, as members, we can say, all right, there's a historical reason behind, there's historical roots for why we are here today. And as we move forward, as we want to assert self-determination as communities, and we want to assert our own interest in our local communities, as we want to build capacity, I think this project work encourages new relationships in and through our communities. So our community members might say, oh, we'd like to build a healthy, vibrant relationship with the local health authority or what have you. And it encourages based on developed protocols so that we enter in a principled way. So if we're going to gather knowledge or what have you, we do it in a way that is right and best. And there's mechanisms in place that support local community involvement. So this, I would hope that this report really encourages communities to realize they have a voice. They can begin to reach out at the local level to policymakers and say, hey, we want you to partner with us to make an investment in our future because we belong here in this province. And we want you to provide funding and support for us so that in knowledge partnerships, we're in the process of doing this at a BC level with the BC Royal Museum and other activities. But all of our work is designed so that our communities can really inform us what's important to them so that we can come along beside of them, Keith, and help them in these areas so that they can do the very same thing because the knowledge is created for the community and for their benefit. Okay.
Perfect. Well, I just want to we did get a question here online, and Karen asked, when will this document moving forward be available online? So the short answer is yes, it will be. We are giving everyone an initial preview tonight. We've submitted this report. It was funded through the Ministry of Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation with the province of BC. It's part of our ongoing relationship development, and as it crosses many provincial ministries and jurisdiction between the provincial and federal government, we're working our way to get it into the funders' hands. We've submitted it now. So we will be posting this shortly in the next day or so on the Federation website, through our social media links, and of course, emailing it out to members next week. So this is another important document that was commissioned and funded through the province of British Columbia. And, I thank the Ministry of Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation. And really, it just continues to build this concept of knowledge partnership and the role of our partner communities. This is not necessarily the Federation at the forefront of this. This is meant to empower our local communities and helping them research and understand the importance of many concepts, including us owning our own research data sovereignty and how the community needs to drive that narrative, not governments sort of commissioning very basic research and then sort of telling us what they're going to do. So it does cross a lot of boundaries, a lot of issues. So just want to say to everyone tonight, this will be out soon. The report is an extensive commentary on that kind of the importance of that research work. So Joe, any closing comments to Karen, obviously, that asked the question, or others that you wanted to finish with tonight?
Well, like I say, I keep saying when we go into the communities, these projects and processes, they really do happen at the speed of relationship building. So let's look for ways to try and support the relationships. I encourage dialogue and communication with the local researchers in our community because they really are the engines that drive this process. And I'm so proud to to work with these teams. And, I think it's to the degree that we can release these folks to be able to do the research and build these research relationships into the community, that we can really start to see beneficial outcomes for our communities. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe, and keep up the good work. So let's come back with some more Métis fiddle music. Sean and Renee, you guys ready to give us another great tune?
Oh, yes. This one is called Route 15.
Great job. Route 15, is that what you said?
Route 15, yes.
Well, come on, what's that in Michif? Come on, we gotta speak some Michif here. Route 15?
It is Keynes route, yeah. Route I would know, but 15 is Keynes.
All right. Who says I don't know my Michif? Anyways,
on.
thank you guys. Yeah, that was a great song. I appreciate it. Well, don't get too cold here. We're gonna get you guys to come back with a song soon. Renee, you heard Joe talking about research at the community level. You see, I know with the Skeena River, obviously the work you guys are doing there with the office and getting Roseanne, one of your local members helping, and Roseanne's been trying to help at the local level. How important do you think research is? What do you find that as you've been in Terrace for decades? How important is this kind of concept and work?
I think it's very important because even when I first came up here in 1962, in 1963, my grandpa used to take me hunting. And that was important because we hunt all over the place. I mean, we pick berries, we hunt, and then we cut firewood. It's very important to be able to find where the Métis used to do the fishing, hunting, berry picking. So I think it's very important.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And the thing that I find interesting too, like we think of those traditional cultural lifestyles, but also just the context of even just understanding why we're invisible in some of the just very basic public services. This country talks, and I know the provincial government talks a lot about reconciliation and Indigenous legislation, but as Métis people, I still feel like we're quite invisible to a lot of those initiatives or that legislation, or like we're here, but no one really includes us in some of this work. And I find that really, I know it's getting better, but I don't know about you guys, Joe or Renee, but I find I find it in this day and age when we seem to, we think, policy wise should include Métis. I still find we're still fighting our way into these conversations. Never mind any really program outcomes, but I just find it's frustrating to be saying the same thing over and over and over. And everyone's just saying, oh, just, there's already, public services, but they're not understanding that we know that, but we're trying to maintain our culture and keep things alive that way. So, thoughts, am I overthinking it? Is it too simplified? What do you think? What do you think there, Joe or Renee?
Well, I think Joe is doing a great job. I think with his team, it's excellent. We should have done that years ago, but right now I think it's important to do it.
Absolutely. How about you, Joe? Any thoughts to my diatribe there and my verbalization of my frustrations?
No, it goes back to my hidden in plain sight thing, but at the same time, I think we need to understand the roots of this invisibility, this erasure of Métis. And I think to the degree that we understand that, I mean, there's so much to be said, and I think I'll leave it at that. There's so much that the communities are going to tell us about who they are as they start to unfold, their narrative in the province of BC.
Absolutely. Well, on that note about erasing, I want to say that, one of the things we are looking for at the Federation, we just released our newsletter this week, and I hope members join the survey. We've published a survey for as we know, our cultural center. We are considering strongly about bringing Project Coming Home to life. We've got the space down at our office in Vancouver and Kingsway, so that might be an option. It's about a 6-minute survey, and essentially what we've done in the newsletters, I'll just sort of give a bit of context why we're asking for it. Over the last 2 years, we've been working on Project Coming Home, a Métis cultural revitalization project. The vision is to open the BC Métis Cultural Center, a space of inclusion and diversity that showcases the rich culture of Métis people in BC. The proposed cultural center would be adjacent to Vancouver's BC Métis Federation office. The space would include an archive and room for cultural sharing and workshops, a small retail component, and will also be part of the facility. So basically, we undertake to implement the study that we're completing for 2023. So we're asking people, go to do the survey. It's a Survey Monkey. I've done it myself. Have you guys done it yet? Joe, Renee, have you guys done your surveys yet?
Not yet, but I will, definitely.
Well, gee whiz. Come on, Mr. President. You got to at least do one. Get Annie to help you.
I will.
Okay. How about you, Joe? Did you do your cultural center survey yet?
I haven't. You caught me.
My goodness, Joe. Anyways, we've had a really good, I will say this to everyone online watching tonight. We've had an exceptionally strong response so far. Close to 200 surveys, I believe, has been completed. So we've have a really strong response. We've got lots of members that are really interested in this. We have a couple no's, but for the large part, over 95% so far, giving us lots of great feedback. So, I just want to make sure that people understand the context. Our leadership of the Federation wanted to make sure the members had a say in what we're trying to put together here. We've proposed some ideas, doesn't mean they're the right ideas. So we've been talking about it at the town hall meetings. We've been, and as we just pointed out at the start of the show, we were up in Terrace last weekend. It was a great meeting. And we just want to give people a chance to have their say. That's what our membership, that's good governance. So, it's our way of consulting and engaging with our members. So please do the survey. The link is on our newsletter on our website. You can just click on it, and it takes about 6 minutes. So it's a very simple Survey Monkey tool. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys tonight, I brought up earlier by accident, Joe. I didn't mean to distract you there, but we have everyone knows Karen Andrews. She does our employment and training work that across British Columbia. She'll be joining in Kelowna coming up this in the very near future, a week from today, on March 30th. So next Thursday, from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the Coast Capri Hotel. Bring your resume and chat with Karen at the Kelowna career event. So she'll be there. Her email is employment@bcmétis.com. So, if you're following along on our Federation website with the job boards and so forth, Karen's been excellent at finding all sorts of people jobs. And if you're in the Kelowna area and you want to meet with her next Thursday, March 30th from 11 till 3, make sure you get there on site at the Coast Capri Hotel, and she'll be happy to see if she can help you out with maybe some resume development and maybe linking you directly with some employment opportunities. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that. Now, I noticed we have an amazing another colleague online here tonight. I noticed he's joined us. So I don't know if JJ Lavallee is there, but he's back by unpopular demand. How you doing, JJ?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing, my friends?
My God, Saskatchewan, you look like Captain Métis there right now.
This is my third gig tonight, man. Third gig today.
Oh,
I know. I've been following you online. I'm like, oh my, he's busy. Very busy guy today.
I like it.
Congrats. We're so happy for you. Well, we miss you, buddy. We certainly miss you. And I love how you Métis-ized your hat. That's your same hat from before, isn't it?
That's my same hat, yeah, but I got the beadwork done on it, as you can see.
Wow.
Kelly's Creations, yeah, she did a really good job.
Nice. Well, hey, thanks for joining the show. You know, you got your friends Renee and of course you know Sean, that's Renee's colleague in the background there.
Hi, Sean.
The
Hi,
hand
Sean,
of a-
man.
Yeah, I know. It's like a old Sesame Street show. There was Mr. What was the
Mr. Dressup.
who else ever saw on the side? Snuffleupagus. But anyways, no, we're super happy to see you. So hey, why don't you give us a good old Métis tune here? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know if it's a Métis tune, but it's a tune.
Okay.
This one's called the Lone Star Rag. I just learned it about 2 days ago.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're away.
Yeah. It's really like
Hey JJ, hate to say that to you, but well, JJ, we don't know exactly what played. The volume didn't come through, so we're not.
Oh,
the-
really?
Yeah, remember the volume issue we had last time? There must be a setting on your sound. We heard the bass every once in a while, but we couldn't the fiddling on.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure how to fix it, but we
Well,
did.
I'm sure it was okay. I think I only made 3 mistakes.
perfect.
Well, you looked good. You looked sharp doing it.
There
You
you
looked.
go. I looked like I was having a good time. That's the main thing.
That's
Yeah,
the main,
man.
of course, that's the main thing.
Yeah, remember last
Let
time
me
there was-
check here.
there was an audio setting you had to have
Yeah,
it.
yeah, same as system. Okay, Realtek speakers. Okay. Okay. Let me go back to the same as system microphone array. Yeah. Select microphone, test speaker and microphone. Okay. It says it's working.
Why'd you just give us a little quick fiddle thing? See if we hear it now.
Maybe it was too loud. I don't know.
No,
No, it's still, it starts and then it fades out and it's gone again. I'm not, remember we had this last time. But you know what? Hey, you play with the thing there. Why don't you try that? Renee, why don't you see if you can cue up a song here for us, you and Sean, and then we'll come back to Renee.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
yeah, Renee,
I'll
we'll
try
come back
I'll
to
try
you.
and fix this and I'll jump back on.
Sure, let's do that.
All right.
Okay, Renee, you're up.
okay, I'm going to play something slow. It's called Yukon Memory.
Great job, Renee. Great job.
Thank
Hey,
you.
I just noticed your lights have gone dimming. Are you guys trying to make it a romantic or something? What's going on over there?
Daylight is going down.
Is that really the daylight is darkened that much in the last
Yeah,
little bit?
yeah, it is, yeah.
Wow, that's in the last since the show started. It's really dulled in there. That's quite remarkable. Anyways, thank you.
Sean will go and turn the light on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. Boy, he's a man of everything. He's your backup band, he's the light switch.
How's that?
Oh, wow. That really did brighten it up. Wow.
Is it too much?
No, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good, Renee. You guys look very you almost look like you're just gonna play Stairways to Heaven next, I think. But no, and that's great. No, I just can't believe how much the office darkened up since the start of the show. But anyways, that's okay. Good. That's a really nice tune. When did you first learn that song, Renee?
A couple of days ago, you mentioned that you went to Dawson in Yukon, and I thought I might as well learn something. So as soon as I saw Yukon memory, I said, I gotta learn that. So
Wow. Well, good job. It sounded very nice. So I see JJ's back. JJ, were you able to think you can get your volume working, or are we gonna just sort of just go with the flow tonight? I don't know if you're there or not. You were there. You came back on. I see your volume's off, but I'm not sure if you're gonna be there. So if not, I'm going to just quickly bring us back to the website. So to remind people that if you want to do the cultural survey, feasibility survey, it was in the newsletter, but it's right on the website, right? You can go right onto the website. I'll take us back to the homepage. If you're on the homepage, it's right at when the landing page, it's right the second topic on the top of it. It'll bring you to the actual outline that I read on the newsletter. And you can just click on the survey and away you go. So, it'll be, it's great. It's an easy tool and it'll just take you minutes. So again, we appreciate that. And also I just continue to, if you want to get some other information from the newsletter, we had posted it this week. You're certainly welcome to do that. Now, JJ, I know you're there now. Are they able to get your music going again this time?
I'm there. We tried something with Craig. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we hear you, buddy.
Can you hear the fiddle?
Yep, we hear you.
It's there?
Yep.
Oh. Okay. Well, let me just come on here. Hello.
All right.
All right.
Why don't you give us a final evening song here? We're almost down to the end of the show. Why don't you prep us up for a good song?
Okay. Well, we'll just do the only one we know today at the end of the night. Keith's favorite, the Orange Blossom Special. How about that one?
Oh, there we go.
Right,
All
there
right.
it is. Yeah.
Finish with a little energy. I want to see Joe up and dancing.
All right. Well, I hope this comes through. I apologize beforehand to the audience for stepping in late, and I hope the music comes through. But well, if not, use your imagination. Let's try this out here. And I turned down the volume, so it's not too bad. Give me a thumbs up if you hear it coming
Okay.
through.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, eh?
No, the second, yeah, as soon as you start going, yeah, no, as soon as you start doing it, it starts and then it just disappears.
Ah, you know what? I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
I guess
That's
I'll
all right.
have to meet with Craig this week and try and get that figured out.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're just happy to see you, JJ.
Yeah, and you were saying I'm busy, but I follow you guys too online, and I noticed the Federation's busy. You guys got a lot of good stuff coming up here in the new year, eh?
Yeah, we did. We just finished the 4 town halls over the last month, and the offices were finally your old stomping grounds looks a lot different than what it was a few months ago when you were here, and we can't wait to have you come back. Maybe we'll have to have you do some fiddle music out here in BC on the ground here soon too, right?
Well, I've just booked McLeese Music.
Yep.
McLeese Lake.
Yep.
They booked me there for what is it? July. Oh, it's the weekend after Batoche anyway. I think it's
Yep.
28th, 29th, or 27th, 28th.
Yep.
So I'll be in that area.
We'll have to get you through Vancouver and come see the office and maybe put a little fiddle music on in there for you. For us, not for you. You put it on for us.
Yeah.
Well, you know, JJ, we're always happy to see you and we're glad you're doing well. We follow you. We talk about you a lot. So we miss you out in BC, buddy.
Well, Rennie, I noticed you and Joe playing quite a bit there.
Yeah, it was fun playing with Joe and the rest of them. Yeah, I think the band sounded pretty good.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, and my uncle even stopped into one of your events. My uncle Paul Lavallee, he stopped in there, the elder, and he said he noticed you
Oh.
guys playing. He was sitting in the back. He said,
Oh,
Yeah, I saw your uncle and I was like, hey, I know you. And he's like, yeah, I'm JJ's uncle. I'm like, yeah, I'd met him a few times,
He
right?
said he comes to he says if they have meetings in the Lower Mainland, he likes to attend. He says.
Well,
Good.
it was great. No, it was great. And I hope he enjoyed it because we did there was like really great turnout in Surrey at that meeting, the best we've ever had. Actually, there was like about 50 people there. It was awesome. It was a really good event. Yeah. So, well, you know, JJ, don't worry. We're gonna wrap the show, but I want to say, how's everything else going work-wise out in
Work is
Saskatoon?
good. We're just finishing up a project with the kids for Michif language.
Mhm.
And then I'm also playing, tonight I just finished playing in the emergency receiving. It's a new thing that we're trying out. I'm not if you're familiar, but a lot of these kids that are apprehended, they come to emergency receiving homes and they've had some pretty tough go at life, and they come there really sad, they're broken, and you know, Keith, I tell you, I've never seen anything so magical in my life. When you play the fiddle, some of these kids are nonverbal. They smile, they dance, they brighten up, and what a reward to see our Métis kids just happy. You know, when their circumstances, they're not usually happy, and just for that short half hour to an hour, I'm there playing music for them. It's amazing. They light right up. Like even the workers say they've never seen them happy like this. So that's a cool aspect that I've never done before, and I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. It's quite a different feeling than playing for an audience. I mean, I've played for 6,500 people before, but I get a bigger feeling playing for these 4 or 5 little children that have had a hard go at life. So, and I just left there and I went to the Elders Lodge, and I have a jam, and I host a jam for the elders, rather Thursdays or Fridays once a week. And we have a couple elders that come up and sing old country tunes. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, we're really proud of the work you're doing, my friend, and that's great to hear. I mean, that's such important work for those youth going through those difficult situations, and just congratulations on the work you're doing out there. I think it's very, very important for those kids.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
so we'll have to figure out your fiddle volume stuff for the next show, and don't ask me because I'm about as technically.
Well, I'll figure it out with Craig. Maybe we'll do a trial run or something and see if
Yeah.
we can get it figured out.
Perfect. Well, thanks, JJ, for joining us tonight. Renee, any final comments you want to make tonight before we sign off?
Well, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be part of the Coffee Talk, and thank you for hosting it.
You bet. And thanks again, Sean. I know that you're off to the side, and hopefully we see your face and you can wave goodbye. Yeah, great to see you,
Good to
Sean.
see you, Sean.
And Joe, thank you very much for giving us an update on moving forward in the project report. I know it's a 60-page document. It was a significant amount of work to you and the research team. So congratulations and thanks for being here tonight. You're on mute there, Joe.
I guess it's my turn to be on mute. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And it's just an honor to be involved in the BC Métis Federation to help our communities and do what release them to do what they do. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. So Renee and Sean, you want to finish one final song and then I'll wrap us up officially. Do you have a quick song you can play for us?
Yeah, okay. G.
Wow, you're making JJ jig right out of his
Yeah,
seat.
right on.
I couldn't play, so I had to jig along there. Rennie.
That's awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys. Thanks, JJ. Thanks, Renee and Sean and Joe. And we will look forward to talking to all of our friends that are watching tonight. Remember to keep watching this monthly show, typically the last Thursday of every month. We'll see you in April, around the last Thursday of April, but certainly watch for updates from the BC Métis Federation. Sign up for our website. We look forward to seeing your membership applications and, watch for future town halls. We'll be out in Fort Nelson in the coming month or two, and we'll be in Prince George and a few other locations. So watch our website and Facebook page for details. So with that, my name is Keith Henry. I'm the president of the BC Métis Federation. Really appreciate everyone's time tonight, and we look forward to talking to you next month. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night.
Right.